Welcome to my 1.13 Bedrock raid farm tutorial. As you can see, I've made an even more simple design for a raid farm. It has one spawning platform that spawns both the pillagers, the captains, and the actual raid itself. It uses one village here, one villager there, and a second villager there. Below you will find the controls for the raid farm. It uses a single lever. This one lever right here activates the trident killers. That's it. Just one lever. The pillagers and captains spawn on those two blocks right there. The raid spawns there. They all go to the same trident killer. Let me show you how to build it. Now the first step in building a raid farm is obviously find an outpost. Now you need to check the surrounding area of an outpost and make sure there are no villages within 100 blocks. The closest village to this outpost is right over here. As you notice that we're at 1652. We're well over 100 blocks now. We're at like 150 blocks. This would be the closest part of the village is this bed. We're at 150 blocks. We're completely fine. Now that we have an outpost, now that it's clear of villages, we need to take a couple measurements. The first measurement is the height of the outpost. Ours is at 90, yours may be a little different. You need to find out the top Y value of the roof, because every measurement we take in the raid farm will be from that number. Now there's a couple of things you should know about raid farms. No pillager will spawn above 3 blocks below the roof. So 87 is the highest that a pillager will spawn. You should also know, as a 1.13, that pillagers will spawn at any light level. It used to be it had to be 7 or below. Now it's anywhere from 0 to 15 light levels. Now an outpost can have 1, 2, or 4 spawning points, depending on how it's aligned in the chunk. As you can see that this outpost crosses over the chunk boundary here, just by 1 block. The banners here. The banners count as a full block, as far as the structure is concerned. So this structure extends over the chunk 1 block, so you get an extra spawn point, and it's located right here. Now if you don't have a chunk resource pack, I can teach you how to find the spawn points. But the first thing we need to do is remember this number, the height of your outpost. In our case, it's 90. And then the second step is tear down the outpost. Now that you have your outpost torn down, it should look something like this. Tear it down until you have just the base level here. Now if you're not sure how many spawn points your outpost will have, whether it be 1, 2, or 4, here's how you can find that out. Get you an empty locator map, locate north. You will never find an extra spawn point to the north or to the west. That will not happen. You will find them to the south, to the east, and to the southeast. If you have a southeast one, it'll be right here in this corner. It'll be on that block right there. Now what you need to do is get you some glass panes and cover the entire area with glass panes. Glass panes, we have to be at least 24 blocks away in order for them to spawn. 24 to 54 blocks away. So I will fly straight up, but if you're in survival, you can just go 24 blocks this way. See? There's our first spawn point. Okay, not yet. Okay, there's our second one. Now, when these mobs spawn, they spawn on the northwest side of the block. So here is actually your actual spawn block is right here. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. Your actual spawn block will be here. And it will be here. And like I said, occasionally you'll have one here and one right here also. So if you're doing this and you don't have a chunk resource pack like I do, you should go ahead and check all of these spots to the south and the east, and of course to the southeast, because your outpost can have 1, 2, or 4 spots. And if you don't account for these spots, then you'll have pillagers that spawn outside of the outpost and outside of your raid farm. And if you have loose pillagers, you will never spawn a captain. The captain spawns first, or he doesn't spawn at all. So that's why it's important to find all of these spawn locations, because not finding them will hinder your raid farm. It'll slow your rates. It'll cause you all kinds of problems. So now that we've found our spawn locations, we just need to either break this glass. If you have a silk touch, you can collect it all and use it again for something else. That's what I suggest. But we're in creative, so we're just going to break it. Something new for 1.13 is that pillagers spawn in all kinds of light levels, from 0 all the way to 15. So in order to spawn proof this area, you have a couple of options. You can either put glass on the blocks like this, and they won't spawn, because lighting it up with torches won't stop them from spawning. You can either make it unspawnable like this with slabs or glass. You can break all the blocks until you're below the actual level of the outpost, because they will only spawn between this block and 3 blocks up from the top of the roof. In our case, 87. So between 70 and 87 in our particular outpost, they'll spawn. Or you can always take a solid block and build a column until you're above where the original outpost would be, because now there are no spawnable blocks. So those are your 3 options if you're in survival, because having these guys spawn around you is crazy. Now while I'm here, they won't spawn, but if I need to go 24 blocks over here and get a few things and come back, I'm going to find pillagers everywhere. So we're in creative, so we're just going to ignore them. But if you're in survival, you need to use one of those 3 methods to spawn proof it, just during construction. So your next step is remove the rest of the outposts. Now that you have your outposts removed, and you still have your 2 spawning locations marked, bring these up to 85, which if you remember is 5 blocks below the top of the outpost. Now I told you that they could spawn up to 87, but we want to give ourselves a couple of blocks of wiggle room here. So I like to do it 5 below where the top of the outpost would be. That way I know that I'm guaranteed to have spawns on top of these blocks. Now, what you want to do is knock out 4 blocks underneath there, because this will be the level of the platform for the raids to spawn on. So we want to make sure that Ravager or the Rider can easily pass underneath this. Now we want to do insta-push here. So of course we want to do that. stays on top, of course, because we don't want raids to spawn on top of that. So, if you only have 2 spawning points in yours, or if you only have 1, just pick a spot pretty close between the 2 and dig out a 4x4 hole. Now, if you had 4, you'd want it to be in the middle of them. Now, because this is 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is a 2x2 hole, it's not going to be exactly centered. Pick a side and go with it. It just is what it is. Now remember that our captain and pillagers are going to spawn at 85 here, 5 below the top of the outpost. So once you know this number, 85, dig down 26 from there. So we're going to dig down to Y59. This is so that when we're standing here at Y59, captains and pillagers will spawn. We want to make sure that the top of our head is greater than 24 blocks away from here. Hang on, which side am I at? Okay. Now what we're going to do here is build a trident killer. I got this design from Navy Nexus. I'll link his video and his channel in the description. It's probably the best trident killer going right now. It works just like this. If you want to know how it works, why it works, go to his channel, watch his video. The observer faces into the piston. One of the benefits of building it underground like this is that you don't have the potential for mobs to glitch out because they don't have anywhere to go. I mean, it's solid rock right here. They can't glitch out because they have nowhere to go. Come back in, backfill this. Use stone or dirt or whatever you want to. You're just a solid block is fine. We need a lever. And we're going to need a couple tridents. Oh, I forgot to put in the hoppers and stuff. Like I said, if you want to know how all this works, go to his YouTube page and watch it. I'm not trying to give a tutorial on his trident killer. Just trust me, it's the best. Now later in this, I'm going to give you a couple of options of things you can do for storage. A guy named JD Mustard sent me an incredible download of his world where he built my earlier design. He built the most amazing design storage system I've ever seen for a raid farm. And I'm going to show you that to you. So how you build the storage is completely up to you. Use a single chest like this, build an elaborate system of filters and hoppers and chests, whatever you want to do. I'm not here to give a tutorial for building storage systems. There's plenty of tutorials for building filtering systems. Sorry, I picked up the trident a while ago when I put the rails in. And right here, you can use ladders or scaffolding or block up each time with dirt. It's your choice how to get up and down here. Now what you want to do is build a column here. Now build this out of glass if you want to. Build it out of a solid block. I'm going to build it out of glass because I like the way it looks. And I also want to be able to see the mobs fall through there. But it doesn't have to be glass if you're concerned about glass expense. Now that that's done, notice that this is one block lower than that. I did that on purpose. From here, in each direction, you're going to build out 8 blocks. So you're going to have an 18 by 18 platform here. It goes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's going to come out this direction in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that you have an 18 by 18 platform here, this is what it should look like. You should still have your spawning spots here and your raid platform here. What I'm going to need you to do is extend this on each side by 7. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Now, once completed, your platform should be a total of 32 by 32. What you're going to want to do now is knock the corners off exactly like this. Pull out some stairs, go all the way around like this. It should look like that. Come in with some blocks to finish up the corners. Now what you're going to want to do is build you an infinite water source right here. If you're doing this in survival, build you an infinite water source. Now we're going to be doing this in creative, so we won't need this. But just waterlog all these stairs. Now I'm going to show you that pillagers will spawn here. and they'll be pushed into the water stream, and they'll go down to the central chute, where they're killed by the trident killer. And if that was on, that'd be dead. 2, 3. Now what I want you to do is go all the way around and build a 5 high wall of blocks. Now I said 5 blocks, but 3 blocks will do fine. This wall is essentially so that nothing spawns on top of the stairs and falls out of the farm. And we want at least 3 blocks. 5 would be better, but 3 is the minimum. So that when a Ravager spawns right here, you can't break these leaves. Because we need leaves around here so that nothing spawns up here. And if it's any shorter than 3 blocks, the Ravagers will be able to break the leaves. And then you'll have spawns up here, and then your farm will fall apart. So absolutely, you need leaves around the top. That's not something that we can talk about, like it has to be done. If you don't put these leaves here, you will have pillagers, ravagers, witches, evokers. They will spawn up here. They will fall out of your farm. Your farm will cease to function. Okay. Now, all of this part is complete. We have our raid farm platform. We have our pillager captain spawning spots. We have our trident killer. Did I actually pick up the trident a while ago? How funny. This trident killer works while pushing the trident around just like that. Like I said, go to Navy Nexus YouTube page. Watch this video about how it works. It's good stuff. Now comes the good part. The part with the villagers. You're going to need 2 villagers and 2 beds. And you're going to need some glass. And you're going to need a couple other things. You're going to need a water bucket. You're going to need a piece of soul sand and a way to make a water tube. If you're doing this in survival. If you're doing this in creative, just do it exactly how I'm doing it. But I'll explain the survival way to do it also. Oh, water bucket, that's what I'm going to need. Okay. Now remember that we're at 85 right here. So what I'm going to need you to do is add 50 to that. Now these are temporary blocks, so use whatever you want, dirt or cobblestone, whatever you want. So 85 plus 50 is 135. Now, 135 will get you to here, but I need the bed to be here at 133. I don't have bad omen because we have a pillager captain got killed by the trident killer. I'm going to turn that off for now because I don't need bad omen. So if you're doing this in survival, leave the trident killer off. Don't get bad omen during this point because you may have a raid farm, you may have a raid spawn up on top, and you don't want that. Now, if you're doing this in survival, bring 2 villagers right here. Put a piece of soul sand down. And build a water column up, just exactly like this. And build it all the way up to 135. Grab you a couple of signs. And if you put a villager in here, he will come out the top. And if you build this tall enough, you can send 2 villagers up to the sky. Then bridge over to where you will have placed a bed right there. And then when it becomes nighttime, you will have brought your villager in from your water column over. Your villager will link with his bed. You will encase him in glass like so. Yes, it has to be glass. I'm sorry to hear about that it's expensive. And then yes, you will need to cover it with leaves because you do not want raids to spawn up here. Leaves and scaffolding are the only thing that will keep raids from spawning. Now currently there's a bug that if I place another villager down, he has to be within 16 blocks of this villager for the village to recognize a second bed. So you are going to bring your second villager over. You're going to place him a bed also. He will get in that bed. Now, all of these blocks you can eliminate. Like I said, they are temporary blocks. Obviously, we would want to light this up. I'm not going to because I'm building this quickly. So I'm going to drink a night vision potion. You obviously need no zombies here because of the next step. And if I hit kill E, it kills the villagers and the tridents. You're going to want to put some temporary blocks there. And some more temporary blocks. And you're going to want to come here. And I know this is going to sound scary, but you're going to break the blocks under this guy. But luckily he'll be safe in the water streams. Like, get in there, buddy. Then when it comes nighttime again, now we can't tell that it's nighttime because it's we're having night vision potion. Now what we've done is I need to be within 12 blocks of the village, of a villager, in order to trigger a raid. So what we've done is we've taken the village and extended it down here, so that when I'm AFK, I'm within 12 blocks of a villager. I don't have time for him to get in his bed. The villager is less than 12 blocks vertically, so being here, I will trigger a raid. Now, as you can see, the farm is now finished. The raids spawn inside of here every time without failure. I've never had one come out of here. And like I said, I have nothing but solid walls around this, so there's nowhere for them to glitch to. I did think about adding a way to block off the chute so that I could change tridents between players. Now, let me show you something that someone sent me. His name's JD Mustard. He sent me this on Discord. Now, this is of my old raid farm design. It actually uses two separate platforms because in 1.11 and 1.12, it required darkness in order for the pillagers and the captains to spawn. So they spawned in here, went into the central chute, and of course were killed by the trident killer. Now, that trident killer is broken. Trident killers are terrible in 1.13. Hopefully that gets fixed, and if so, that would be great. So of course you have your villager there. He has a nice little lightning shield installed. That's a good idea. I didn't include that in my original design. Inside of here is another villager. I forgot to show that part off. My old design used 3 villagers. Of course, this is where they spawn. There's a villager here. It extends the village down. And like I said, you need to be within 12 blocks vertically of a villager in order to trigger a raid. This is all part of his storage system. You're going to be amazed. I was amazed when I saw this. This is what building your raid farm like this, where you build your raid farm underground, this allows you to do. He has this incredible base here that he built. Because he didn't build an ugly tower in the sky that everything will spawn on, he built here. He has this incredible storage system. He has an entire base almost. I mean, look at this incredible base that he built. I mean, this is really incredible here. He has looting 3 swords. You can't build this if you build your raid farm in the sky. And since I've made it to a single platform and made it even simpler, you can build these incredible bases. This is so easy to build. Like I said, I'm not here to give you a tutorial on how to build a storage system. I'm just telling you that this is possible. He built this incredible thing here. This is the old design, and the new design is half this. So this compared to the old design, this is much simpler, uses less villagers. The trident killer is a little smaller. I wish the old trident killer still worked, but they don't. It uses, one less villager. Without looting 3, this gets about 1,500 drops an hour. Here's what 1 hour looks like without looting 3. With looting 3, I honestly couldn't tell you because I haven't run that test. I'm guessing somewhere between, I don't know, 1,900, 2,100 drops per hour probably. There's a lot of things that go into the factor of how much a raid farm will produce. Are you on easy? Are you on normal? Are you on hard? Because one does 3 waves, one does 5 waves, and one does 7 waves. Look, there's another captain right there, and another raid's about to start. That's how fast it works. If I had 4 spawning points, there would be probably even less time between raids. So there's a lot of factors in deciding what the raids are for a raid farm, and people that quote you a certain number without knowing exactly what your conditions are, whether you're on easy, normal, or hard, or how many spawn points or any of that. Rates are so hard to quote for raid farms, so people that tell you a certain number, that might not be accurate. But this on hard, this right here with 2 spots, this raid farm without looting 3 produces 1,500 drops per hour. I mean, you see how fast it is killing these guys. You see how well it spawns.